I quit. I turned in my resignation. I said, I can't do this anymore. It's not for me. I don't see the value. Have you had anybody in your club say that? Raise your hand if you've had anybody say that. I'm that person, guys. I'm that person. I promise I don't suck. Here's what happened. My life was a disaster. We were in the middle of a pandemic. I had 2 kids learning virtually at home. Lord help us. If you got kids, you know. My oldest son went to college and immediately came back after a mental breakdown. Diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. Our life was in complete shambles. I was 6 months into my new job. I was so depressed, I would sit at my computer for hours. I didn't know what I was doing. I said, Rotary's got no place in my life because it didn't provide me with solutions, and all I was doing was meeting with the same 6 people every week, talking about the same thing, not doing anything. Have you ever heard that before? That was me. I said, bye. So like I said, I'm the director of a nonprofit in North Carolina. I rely on volunteers to help run our organization. The Impact Club of Lenore at the time showed up over and over and over. Patrick, give me a signal when I'm done. Helping me volunteer. I didn't know these people. I didn't know anything about them. All I knew about them was that they showed up. They were the doers. They were the ones helping me. Even when I didn't ask for it, even when I didn't even realize what I needed, they showed up. They moved our entire resource center to a new location, all of the furniture, all of the shelves, all of the inventory. These people were breathing life back into my professional life. And little did I know they would also breathe life back into my personal life. I met some of my best friends. I met a mentor. I met somebody who took my son who had been to hell and back, sorry for the language, and said, you know what, I'm gonna give you a chance. And he's thriving now, he's doing very well. Thank you. I knew these people better. I knew their families. I knew them better than anybody I ever sat in a meeting with. Because I served with them. They served alongside me. They were the doers. And I said, I want to be a part of that. I'm the president-elect of the Impact Club by Rotary of the Club of the Foothills. I'm back! So this is what I want you to take away from this. I walked away. But because I saw the doers, I saw the service, I saw the passion, I came back. All right, I'm going to introduce Caryn. Caryn Gibson is going to share her story.
Good morning. So my name is Caryn Gibson, and I am a Rotarian, and I am autistic. And I brought notes. I'm not as good at memorizing things as Katie, but I would have never joined Rotary. I'm used to not fitting in, and I made some assumptions. Sometimes, as an autistic person, I can be black and white, and I made some assumptions about Rotary, and I just assumed that, I would never be invited, and I didn't know that I wanted to be, which can sound pretty harsh, but I didn't know better at the time. And I work for Patrick Longano, and he had me helping with his Rotary tasks, and through his new impact membership model that I was learning about, I started helping people get onboarded into Rotary. So I read the materials. I've always tried to be thorough, he knows. So I read that Rotary Basics manual that we give out a lot, and I learned about the 4-way test, and actually that was my favorite part, if I'm being entirely honest. I like the 4-way test, and then I became interested. I actually snuck my name into DAC-TV, those of you that use DAC-TV. I stuck my name in there, and he was asking me to pull where we are on membership, and he's like, what is your name? And I'm like, yep, I filled out the application. So, and of course, he was my sponsor. And so not only was I accepted into Rotary, the club accepted me, but I was given an opportunity to talk to my Rotary Club about diversity, equity, and inclusion in a welcoming and engaging environment. So I was proven wrong. I was proven wrong about Rotary, and I've been proven wrong today as well, meeting all these people. Some of you I had only ever met virtually, and I met you today. A nice lady that helped me off the sidewalk when I face planted yesterday was wearing she was wearing a Rotary lanyard, you know. So, and some other people just stared at me, but she came up and helped me. So yeah, I was proven wrong, and I also just wanted just a second to say, you never know who you might be missing if you don't offer something different.
Thank you, Caryn. Okay, so now I have the pleasure of introducing, oh my gosh, Superwoman's here. Now I have the pleasure of introducing the man who really started it all. Patrick Longano, he sent me this little bio. Patrick is the creator of the Impact Club model. He got told no a lot. And he said, no, this works. This is going to work. We have to do this. Patrick is just like me. He's the person that doesn't know how to say no when it comes to volunteering. Anybody in the room? Yeah. Okay, so Patrick is that guy. He also runs a successful car dealership in Lenore, North Carolina, if you're ever in the market for a car. Like I said, he is the creator of the Impact Club model. He is married to his beautiful wife, Angela, who is his biggest supporter behind the Tocci family, my husband's sibling. And he's going to tell you how to do this because, guys, you want to be a part of this. You want to start making your clubs look like your community. So give it up for Patrick Longano.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming. So what is Impact? Impact is the only innovative club model designed to specifically build up the existing club. I'm going to say that again to you. It is the only innovative club model that was designed to build up your existing club. New clubs are great, but we need to strengthen the clubs that we have right now. So it was designed to slow attrition while building powerhouse growth. But what I want to tell you before we get into a lot of these, I introduce the guests of the panel, is that you cannot have a diverse club without having a diverse service strategy. And that's what we're going to tell you here today, how to do that. But first, I'd like to introduce to you a woman who needs no introduction, immediate past Rotary International Director, Miss Stephanie Urchick. Let's give it up for Stephanie. Stephanie's going to be asking us the hard questions. I tried to hand her some questions, kind of whatever, and she's like, yeah, I got this. I was like, well, that's awesome. So y'all are in for it real quick. Next up, I'd like to introduce, well, this guy doesn't need an introduction either. He's known as the Great Karnak, anything like that. He likes to twirl sometimes in his cave. Our Rotary Coordinator for Zone 33, Patrick Eakes. He did it. I'd like to say this real quick. I've given him his new nickname. He is the godfather of innovative clubs. I promise you. He's wonderful, supportive. And our last panelist, besides me, is our innovative club advocate for Zone 33 and a former Rotary coordinator, Mr. Chris Jones. And one of my best friends.
Okay, I get to ask some questions of these two dynamos, but before I do, I want to tell you how important this impact model is in terms of our action plan. I know all of you have looked at our vision statement and have possibly worked with the action plan priorities. They are all important, but there are two of them that the impact model really resonates with, and one is expand our reach, and the other is enhance participant engagement. And impact groups do exactly that. They do both. They help us expand our reach to get more people into the magic of Rotary. And because the impact model energizes the legacy club, the existing club, it really sparks participant engagement with our members. So it's a great model. So I'm going to go ahead and start and ask this question of Patrick. Patrick.
Which one?
Oh, that's right, there are two of you. Oh, shit. I gotta call one of you Sparky, I think. All right, Patrick Lilano. Tell us, how does the impact model support the traditional clubs? Tell us more about the benefits. Like, what does it do for an existing club?
I'm going to answer that question real quick, but I'm going to tell you how it came to be. My wife, who's my biggest inspiration, is a kindergarten teacher. She goes to work every day for 25 years now and wrangles up 25 kindergartners, and then she comes home and wrangles me up, and which she's got the perfect job for that. But here's the deal. I looked at what was going on in our club, and we had the same problems in the early 2000s as we did now. So we had declining membership, but no Rotary club in the world likes to do less. So they always try to do the same amount or even more with declining membership, and which puts a lot of stress on people, okay? What Impact does is it takes the pressure off of everybody, okay? That's the goal of Impact. How many people in here over the last month have been sitting in a Rotary meeting where somebody has said something like, I just need 2 more people? How many people? Yeah. You know, and everybody does one of these. So what we do is we needed to figure out a way to get enough people that could help us to where we never had to do that again. The smaller your club gets, the more financial burden, the more burden to do service when you got all these wonderful things. This is what we're trying to alleviate in mass numbers. How many people have been in here more than 20 years in Rotary? Raise your hand. Man, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you a question. Back then, 20 years ago or further, when somebody new moved to town, what did they do? They came and said, please, please, can we be in your club, right? 20 years later, what's happening is we're going to people and say, please, please be in our club. What Impact does is by a show of force out in the community, they will alleviate the pressure on the current club members by building a service army for your community.
Great. Hey, Chris Jones, why would a Rotary club want to do Impact instead of doing a Rotary Community Corps, which is basically people who go out and do service? Why would the club want to do Impact?
Well, I think the biggest answer to that is we want Rotarians. And there's a value proposition for the Rotarians that join us. They get to share fellowship with 1.4 million other people and 35,000 clubs around the world and 200 countries and geographic territories. That fellowship means a lot, and there's a lot of opportunity there. But the other piece of this is the opportunity for the club to get great people in the community. So the Rotary Community Corps is a great option if you're just looking for an army of people to perform one service project here and there. But when you bring in people that are serving as Rotarians and then sharing the great word about Rotary, you're now creating an army of attraction opportunities right there. So thank you.
Good. Okay. So, you know, I got these questions from Patrick Logano, and it raised a question for me. So he has something here about Impact Companion Club members and impact service model members. Are those different?
Yes, we found the great part about Impact is it's a grassroots movement. I know that what we created in a small town in western North Carolina is not what it's going to wind up being. So if you guys decide to do something or you guys want to talk, we are still in those stages where we are forming a lot of these things. So first it started as a companion club model, as a way. How many people in here are in clubs that if somebody brought this to them, they'd say, oh, no, those aren't Rotarians. What do you mean they're not going to come to lunch? What do you mean no meetings? What do you mean? You will all run into those things. So we created the companion club. Does everybody know what a companion club is? Okay, here we go. It's semantics. How many people have heard of satellite clubs? Yes. Okay. I call them companion clubs. I don't. The satellite club in general was made to start a new club where an existing club is sponsoring that satellite, and once they get to 20 members, they say, have a nice day. How many people have been president of a Rotary Club in here? Wonderful. During your one frantic year, did you have a lot of time to help another club build up just so they can go over there? You know? So a lot of people don't do that. Satellite Club is a wonderful thing, but a lot of people don't have the time. So we coined the term companion club because it is designed to run in conjunction with the home club and never break away. Okay, now that's not saying you can't have a standalone impact club in an area that doesn't have another Rotary club, but it is designed to build up your existing club. Every person that's in your companion club counts on your membership. It also gives you leeway with a lot of the people in your club that might say, we don't do things that way. You just go to them and say, man, we're building up a service army that you can wield in your community to do good works in your name. Katie said the greatest thing up here. She said she's the president-elect of the Impact by the Rotary Club of the Foothills. And that's how it is. We've got wonderful people. Paul Walter is a district governor here, and I'm just so happy to have him here. He has 3 companion clubs in his district, and they're all, that's how they do it. The North Charleston Club is referred to as Impact by the Rotary Club of North Charleston. So you're always tipping your cap. You're always reminding people that this is the Rotary Club. It's not something different, it's the same, but we're just allowing people to serve differently.
So Patrick Eakes, why impact then? Why can't a club take its satellite and tell the satellite just not to have meetings, to just go out and serve?
Well, I suppose a sponsoring club could say that. You could just go out and serve, but I think the semantics that you referred to, Patrick, okay, thank you. The semantics of using companion is important. It's truly a tight relationship. Satellite sort of indicates something that's separate, right? The companion part indicates we are one. We may be serving differently. One group may be doing like my club, my president-elect here in the front row, where we enjoy having a traditional meeting. We enjoy having a speaker come in to inspire us or educate us or maybe entertain us. We like that. We don't have to change that. But having a companion club indicates a tight relationship there, and one that is designed to endure, to continue, and as Patrick said, to provide a huge impact in terms of service in our community. So I think there's a distinction there between companion and as you said, the scenario where you said, just go do this service.
I would add to that also that branding, I think, is a big piece of that. So, you know, it gives you an opportunity to really brand that companion club to be an impact club.
So this is for any of you on the panel. Tell us about the objections that you hear. What are clubs saying when you bring up the idea of impact? What's the stuff that they're saying to you about why it's not a good idea?
I've got this one. First of all, I got to tell you how very proud I am that there are this many people in this room. I mean, it makes me feel really, really good to see that people are coming in, and not just for the t-shirts, and I appreciate it, but it started over 2 years ago. I said, hey, I got an idea. I left Rotary too. I was in Rotary from 2000 to 2002. Got out for business purposes. I could spend 3 hours Friday afternoon at noon going out to the country club. And I'm a car dealer. That's our busiest day. So when I found out that a Rotary club came back into town, I went over there because it was close to me. But they were having the same problems that they had 20 years ago. And they're the 3 M's. Membership, money, and media. Oh, we need to post some social media. We need to do this. Okay. We'll get to that part. But what I'm going to tell you is this. I've got worse than they're not real Rotarians. I got worse than you're worried about quantity over quality. You know what I mean? I've got that. I've gotten that before. I've walked through the door and been shot 20,000 times on these same things. And we keep pushing forward. These guys right here are Zone 33 coordinators. The other people that have started their companion clubs are behind it. They're starting to get that too. You remember that at first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they get angry at you, then they copy you. I'm right in the middle of the angry and copy movement right now. So they are real Rotarians. My wife is a teacher. Like I was telling you, she couldn't go to a breakfast meeting. She can't go to a lunch meeting. She's teaching those kids. So if she wants to give service on Saturday or Sunday or after hours, why would I turn that person away from serving our club and Rotary? So if you just keep pounding that message, what is a real Rotarian? Somebody with integrity and somebody who has a servant's heart. Okay? So if you just concentrate on that service and making your tent larger, guys, you'll never have to recruit again. We don't recruit in our club anymore. They come to us. Okay? Because they see us in the community, and that's all that it's about. Thank you.
I want to add to that, if I may. I'm a Rotary coordinator. I've worked with 17 districts on the Mid-Atlantic. I have heard objections to almost anything you can think of in membership. And do you know which clubs generally have those objections? The ones that are shrinking, right? The ones that say, we're doing it just right. All evidence to the contrary. The reality is, we're leaders. Everybody in this room has taken a week away from his or her life, has spent money to be here. We are leaders, and what leaders do is they meet people where they are. It is not our job to protect what Rotary is today or what it has been in the past. It is our job to create situations that are receptive, that are inclusive, that are welcoming to those who have integrity and a heart for service. It may look different than our Rotary experience today. That doesn't make it wrong. So I encourage you to be ready for those objections and to keep the focus on those who would join us as Rotarians and what they want and what they need and what they deserve.
So both Patricks have given us an example of some of the objections that folks have had. Chris, tell us more about some of the positive things that you've heard from clubs that have done impact groups, because we have them. There are clubs, and it's time that you share some of this positive stuff.
Wow, so we have had so many clubs that have first had interest, and we've had a lot of people make the inquiry to Patrick and myself about becoming an impact club. And then we've had a number of clubs actually take us up on it and move forward. The real value proposition has been where somebody sees that they start with 5 or 6 or 10 members in the club, and in a very short period of time, and when I say short period, I'm talking months, grow to 60, 70, 80 people in the companion club. And these are 60, 70, 80 people that are committed to Rotary. Not just saying that I am a Rotarian and they get the little badge and they're checking something off on their resume. They're committed people performing service in their community. And I can't think of one, really a better option there than that. The other benefits that we're hearing from the club leaders of our traditional clubs, our legacy clubs, is that they're seeing their clubs grow in their personal club. So they're seeing the growth happening in the companion club, and the legacy club says, wait a minute, I gotta catch up. And we're seeing a lot of people come in and join the traditional club as well. There are so many positives to these clubs that I could stand here for the next 2 hours and tell you all of them. But I can tell you the biggest ones really are the Rotary name, the Rotary brand is getting into our community. People are seeing what Rotary does, what the value of Rotary is, and why people want to be a Rotarian.
I just want to say one last thing on that part. The thing that I was most proud of at the end of our first year, before we got started, it was in the last year of Tiffany Irving. Who knows Tiffany Irving? We all know the Rotary Geek. I love her, and she was actually going to help us with this, but she had to fly home. But we launched it in the last year, or the last week of her when she was DG. So in one calendar year, we put on 79 people. That's awesome. I mean, that's great. That's awesome. We put people on, and the Impact Club did over 2,200 hours of service. Okay, over $50,000 of economic impact in our community. But what I was most proud of is the traditional club. I was more proud of them because in the year prior to Impact, they did 580-ish hours. In the year of Impact, they logged over 1,200 service hours. So it re-energizes the club. So and I always like to say excitement breeds excitement. So that's the positive things that'll help your traditional club as well.
So most of you may have read that I belong to the Rotary Club, and my Rotary Club is doing an impact group. We're sold. We're absolutely sold. And I know that there are a lot of people who are listening in this audience today. They've heard all of this, Patrick, Chris, and Patrick, and they're sitting there thinking, I think I'm sold too. I think I want to do this. So what do they do? What's the next step? What do these people do to get started?
What?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But we have had
Playing the part of my wife
I'm
today
sorry.
is Katie Toast.
We have had several people say, I'm confused. What is an impact club? If you could please. So I don't want to know, I just want to make sure we define that very clearly before we move forward. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem at all. An impact club is a companion club, satellite club that's set up with your existing club. It allows members that are non-traditional meeting members, diverse service strategy folks from around the community to join your Rotary Club without having to come to the meetings, pay for their meals, that sort of thing. But they are always invited. Our club always gets the bulletin. They always get invited to every single meeting if they want to go. But what you're trying to do, how many people have teenagers here? Or had teenagers? Okay. When you tell them to do something, what do they usually do? Roll their eyes, exact opposite. When you say don't do that, you're like, okay, I really mean don't do that, because they're usually going to do the opposite. When you take the pressure off of people and say you don't have to go to a single meeting, guess what they do? They go to the meetings. During the pandemic, 42%, at a certain point, 42% of our Zoom attendees were our impact members. You don't have to go. We're coming anyway. It's just what happens. It's the greatest thing in the world. You don't know. I had the most wonderful person. Her name is Sam Morgan. She's our treasurer. And we were trying to get her. She was the new State Farm agent in town. So we were talking with Raquel, and she says, I just signed my contract. I can't, the pandemic hits, well, I have to go to work, I have to do this. I said, don't worry about it. You come when you can. You serve when you can. Don't worry about it. Get you in, do the service projects, you'll get them, do whatever you can. There's no time limit, we're not gonna check a box if you show up. Do what you can. And we took the pressure off of her. She almost gave the most hours in our club that you'll ever see. She shows up at every project, and she's our treasurer of our club. You know what I mean? So when you release and take away the pressure, people will do it because that's what they want to do. So that's what a companion club. And we're going to have time for questions. We're going to wrap this up in a quick thing because we know we're going to have a ton of questions. So back to you, Steph. I'm
going to add briefly because Patrick is too modest to say this, but we're at about a dozen impact clubs in Zone 33, which is the Mid-Atlantic. But more importantly, we're on track for our best membership performance year in many years. And over half of our growth is due to impact and very similar clubs, innovative clubs, and impact clubs at the front of that. This works. We've got the proof. It's happening in our zone.
And one thing on numbers. Numbers are a symptom. They're not a result, right? So as Patrick is mentioning, we're seeing significant growth. That's simply a symptomatic number that helps us understand that this model is where our growth is coming from. So impact and companion clubs are really the key to being very innovative and creating new opportunities.
Remember too, this isn't just a service organization or a companion club model. This is a whole way of thinking. How many people have heard good ideas here at the convention? You've heard them. They're great, aren't they? You're going to go home, you're going to be energized, you're going to walk in your club, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, we've got to do this, right? And then everybody's going to look at each other and go, who's going to do it? You know what sets impact apart? We help you from conception to practice. If we talk to your board, we'll talk to your club, we'll go anywhere you want us to do. We've got the connections over at Rotary. We know who we have to talk to. We know how exactly they want the paperwork filled out. We help you fill out the paperwork. We help you through inductions. During the pandemic, we did induction paloozas, which were a blast, by the way. If you ever have to do them, they're fun. We provide you with your t-shirts for your original members, bags, the whole 9 yards. That's how you get it done, by helping people get across the finish line. That's what separates this apart, okay? So, thank you.
Well, you just answered the question how. We looked at who, what, when, where, and why, and you just answered how. So, round of applause for our panel. I think they did a great job. I'm going to turn it back over to Patrick to wrap us up.
Folks, listen, please, everybody give it up for Miss Stephanie Urchick. I really appreciate her doing it. It's wonderful. And I can't wait to before I go any further, I want to introduce somebody who's a good friend of mine real quick. Terry Weaver, could you stand up? Terry Weaver, everybody knows Terry Weaver. Terry is our incoming Rotary coordinator who's following Patrick. And we look forward to working with Terry throughout his term as a Rotary coordinator. Before we get to questions, really quickly, because these two people talk as much as I do, which is fantastic, I want to introduce you to two quick people. Raquel, will you come up here, please? Woo! Oh, you got it wrong. Yeah, come here, Raquel. Raquel's got some exciting news for us. And by the way, there's Patrick right there. He's with Raquel. And if he was up on the stage, we'd be Patrick Hughes. Okay, Raquel, here you go.
So, hi everyone, my name is Raquel. Yeah, here? Okay. So, yeah, I met Patrick thanks to the other Patrick. And I'm the immediate past president of an Eakes club. I just moved to the Netherlands. I wanted to do something different. I'm a past road actor, past district representative, and the whole yards. And we were missing the service component. So we decided to create a new club. Eakes club, yeah, in the Netherlands, the first in 10 years in our district, thanks to Lady, our district governor. Yeah. So today we receive our charter letter. So we're super excited. We're World Impact Rotary Club. We are partnered with them because we believe that service is an important part of Rotary. We're missing that component. We just need to be out there. We call ourselves people of action, but we're not there. Our community doesn't know us. We usually say like, hey, we're Rotary. What is Rotary? Oh, do you know Lions Club? Yes, okay. And then we do the introduction of what is Rotary. We have to take that apart. The club is made for people that are busy. We are taking that burnout that Patrick is mentioning. Like, we are tired of being in front of the computer. We don't take care of attendance. We don't care about that. We just want people to be there that are people of action, that they enjoy Rotary, that they serve, that they connect. We have 6 continents already, 20 members, 11 countries, and we're growing. So if you're interested, like, yeah, just call us, send us an email. We will explain a little bit more because we don't have time right now. But yeah, we're just approved. You're going to receive the charter letter like today. Yeah.
Raquel, congratulations on being the newest club in the world. We love that. Now, this guy right here, I didn't think anybody could be more Italian than me, besides the Italian contingent here, than this guy. We went out to dinner the other night, and I told the told the host, I said, Nico's running late, of course. I'm sorry about that. But when he comes in, just tell him where we are. And they said, how will I know who Nico is? And I said, you'll know. Just by the look of him. So, Nico, 1 minute, buddy. Get it.
Good morning, everybody. So my name is Nico Iagnelli. I am the district governor for Rotary District 7680, the birthplace of Rotaract. Impact. Impact is the mindset. It's a connection between our lives and the lives that we can change. We know through the course of time and how Rotary is progressing, we look at not the attendance, but we're looking at engagement. Engagement is time, talent, and treasure. Each one of us as Rotarians give back in different ways. We have those that are able to attend all the meetings. We have those that are able to attend all the service projects. And we have those that like to write a check, which we take because that allows us to do more. But we have to continue to measure engagement. The impact model that we've been sharing, we've blessed and Patrick, I've been his biggest advocate for the last 2 years. To the point that I'm working on the 3rd impact club for our district. All the nights here, I had a chance to spend some time with Jennifer Jones when she came to our pets and share with them what we were doing. I was helping to charter a new Global Impact Rotary Club. It was a hybrid between what we knew traditionally as the E-Club, and we don't identify E-Clubs anymore, a passport club, a virtual club, an impact club. Audley and Jennifer Jones looked at me saying, what? You took the best of each component of what Rotary is and put them together. Within 1 month, I helped charter a impact club with 44 members, 50% women, representing 16 different countries throughout the world. 30 days later, we're at 56 members. Impact is a mindset. Again, we have Rotarians. There's people in our communities that we know can do so much more, but they don't have the time. Chris Jones mentioned the Rotary Community Corps. Great, great program that we have, but we want more Rotarians. And why do we want more Rotarians? The more we can grow more, so we can do more. Jennifer Jones says, just imagine that. So we're going to open up for Q&A, so I'm going to walk around.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Perfect. Go.
So
Who wants to answer or ask a question?
I'm gonna,
Oh my goodness, okay, we knew we were going to have this.
I got it.
You got it? All right,
But
fantastic.
the first question, again, a couple people have said, I'm still confused. Impact is service only. If you want to attend meetings, cool. But service only club tied to your traditional club.
Wait, and to clarify that, so they're doing service projects, so where do they meet? They meet at the service project. They do a social, they meet at the social. They don't want to sit through a traditional meeting. They want to have an impact in their communities and across the globe.
All right, let's get the questions, guys.
Patrick,
Yes, we're...
Pat O'Brien over here, my
Hey,
good
buddy,
friend.
how you doing?
Doing fantastic. I thought I had to talk because my name's Patrick as well. Is that half the audience here? Patrick, as you know, down in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, we started an impact club.
Yes, sir.
And we cannot appreciate you enough. If there's one person who reads beyond Z, it might be you.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, Patrick.
The one question I had, or maybe this will help as well, is in our discussions, you have a vision not only of reaching out to those people that have kind of gone out of Rotary, still want to be in Rotary, the young people that are busy, but you talked a little bit about your vision for technology as well. I didn't hear much of that, and I think that would be so powerful for this group to hear.
I appreciate that, Patrick. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your support. Real quickly, if you want to ask a question, keep your hand up because we'll get to you right after this. But technology's coming. We've developed an application that's going to be in beta probably within the next, I would guess probably within the next 90 days, that will connect your club to your volunteers. It's a fantastic program. Be on the lookout for that. But I will tell you this, the important part about this service club is how it makes you feel, okay? So, thank you, Patrick. We'll get back to you in 1 second. Go ahead.
Patrick, so we're going to have Mike from Alaska.
Mike from Alaska.
Anchorage South. Quick question, as you're bringing in the new members, are they just paying club dues, international dues, or what do they pay? What's their structure?
I was guessing it was going to be either the first or the second question about money. Because remember, it comes down to membership, media, money. That's the one I took the most of. What do you mean I'm paying $600 a year and they're going to pay $180? Da-da-da-da-da. These people, I charge my folks in my club $180. $133 and change goes to district dues and Rotary International dues. The rest the club keeps. We do t-shirts, we have a good time. We have a fun time. Everybody goes, oh, you only make $40 or $50 per member for the club? Yeah, when you have 100 people in your club, it adds up. You know what I mean? But you have to take the financial burden off the shoulders of all your club members. One of the number one things you hear, how many people have heard, well, every time I went to that club, they had their hand out. How many people have heard that? People leave, and you'll see all the surveys in the world. They leave because of this, they leave because of this, they leave because of this. The ones that don't tell you that they left because of money, left because of money. Right here.
Hello, Rhea Graham, Calgary, Alberta.
Hey.
I'm an ADG.
Yes.
And I would like to use this concept with the Rotaract Club. Our Rotaract clubs are really cooking, but they're students and they just don't always have time, but they do the best job of service. So would this apply?
I'm glad you asked me that question, and I am going to answer this. Okay? I'm going to answer this question, okay? And I want you to look at me. I do not cede any territory in my area, in my community. I'll help them out as much as they can. As much as I can, I'll help them out. But why don't I want the 21, 22, 23-year-old, 25-year-old in my club serving our community through our Rotary program? So it can help if you'd like. We'll be more than happy to do it because, like I said, it's not just how you do it, it's the whole concept of how you recruit. I'm going to show you this real quick. Could you, Nika, here, open one of these shirts. Who got a rose shirt? Who got a rose shirt? Okay, Nika, open that up real quick for me.
You got me a small?
Yeah. He'll fit it on his head.
The theme is imagine.
Yep. Yeah, the theme is imagine. Good one, Chris. Everybody, we've got jokes up here. I'm going to tell you this. How many people in here love membership? Okay, a good amount of you. We'll talk to you in Iron Sharpens Iron, and we'll talk about ways to build your club up. Okay? How many people in here know somebody in your club that is Captain Rotarian, has got the cape, got the hat, does foundation, absolutely loves it, been in for 40 years, and has brought one member to Rotary? We all know that person, right? It is unfair for me to say he has to do or she has to bring somebody to Rotary. They obviously don't, they feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to tell them, you have to bring me somebody. I'm going to work with the people who raise their hands about bringing them in. But I'm not absolving that person of having to be a brand ambassador. I just have to figure out a way to get that person. Now, everybody thought of somebody, right, in their club that was like that. If that person got asked about Rotary, they wouldn't shut up, would they? So we just have to figure out ways to get them to ask about Rotary. So Nico, who was holding up the shirt that said Rose, where's it at? Who got it?
I gave it back to the girls.
You gave it back? Okay. Hold on one second, because I want to show this to you. Here. Open that up a little bit. This right here, I wore this the other day. There it is, you twirled it. Anybody know, can guess what that says? It says Rose, right? I wear this out, and I just can't wait to have people come up and say, what's that say? What's that mean? What's that do? Rotarians offering service everywhere. We need to devise ways to get people aware. So if I give this shirt to that guy or that person in my club that won't talk about it, I'll go talk to a mannequin about it. But I give that shirt to a guy, and he goes out and he's like, man, these people, they all come up to me and ask me about it. So now I can tell you about Rotary because you asked me. Katie?
Hi there, very creative. So let me get it straight. You pay, or who, they still pay their Rotary dues and their district dues. They still pay that. How are they registered at RI then? As a member?
They are active members. They pay the same dues that I pay, that you pay, that any other Rotarian pays to Rotary International. Most districts also collect district dues. What Patrick has done, look, Rotary is not expensive. Food is expensive. Okay? The food is taken out of this component. For $15 a month, that covers the district dues, the Rotary International dues, and a small portion of club dues.
Over to Raquel with her friend.
So I like the idea this is explicitly, allowing members to not have to attend meetings. You don't have to anyway, even if you're a normal member of Rotary Club, but depending on how your club messages that to your members, you might want to have this explicit, option. When you're explaining to a member, an impact member, here are the fees. So, for example, in my club, the portion of the fees that we could reduce for an impact member would be maybe $10 less or $20 less, because 90% of our fees are RI dues and district fees. So when you're explaining to a member that they're getting less fees and maybe they're a different kind of member, can you give me an example of what you would say to that prospective member and describe to them, a new person, what the difference is between the impact member and the club member for the same dues?
Great question, and one of the things that you get when you contact us is we'll help you devise a menu. I menu every single person that I talk to about Rotary, who's interested in Rotary. On the menu, not only do they have the option and what the main club does, and then what Impact does and the cost on both of them, but I also present the other 3 clubs in my county. I present what those clubs do and their dues on my menu. I give every person that I talk to Rotary an opportunity to join 5 Rotary clubs. And people are like, you're crazy. You're going to help people recruit for the club down the street? I don't care where you serve, just as long as you serve. End of story. All doing service together. Next.
All right, so we're going to go through rapid fire. We're going to go through these quickly. All right, and she was waiting. So real quick, so I heard a seasoned Rotarian go, what about the foundation? Great question. What do you do about the foundation for your club? We educate. We share stories. with our members. We show what the foundation does, so we give. We give more so we can do more. That's what we do about the foundation, even with the impact members. You need to show them and tell them and educate them about the foundation, and they will give, just like a traditional member. Okay, Aaron.
President-elect from Colorado. My question is about the evening or the impact. Would they have a board member that would be on the board of directors that would be kind of in a leadership role, like a chair, since they probably would not have a president?
For all, so they have a chair because they are a satellite club branded as a companion.
Right.
I always encourage sponsoring clubs to create at least one board spot for the chair of a satellite / companion. I think that you want to have that good communication back and forth. I just think it's the best practice.
Rapid fire.
Hi. So I'm a district membership chair, and I already started one satellite club that went on to become a regular club. Yep. I'm in the process of starting a new club also. And I guess my question is, you know, I love what you're doing with the without the mandatory attendance at meetings, and I love the low dues thing. I'm doing similar, but I made the decision this time to go ahead and start a regular club rather than a satellite club because my perception was that was going to be easier. And everything you're saying about impact, does it actually matter if you went ahead and started a regular club and skipped the satellite process? And do you contemplate some of your satellites go on to become regular clubs, or do you care? I mean, I'm sort of like thinking that just start the regular club, don't bother with the satellite.
I'm going to address that because that's a very, really good, honest question, but I'm going to tell you this right now. We want to build up our existing club. How many people saw the video, A-Town, USA, when they went into the thing? We need more clubs. I'm working on it, helping you guys build up your existing club through a membership strategy. So I am always going to pitch a companion club to you, or a companion membership. We have a club up in Brevard, Michael Dexter Smith, one of the great presidents that's out there in our entire zone. He took over July 1st with 9 members. He couldn't do a companion club with 9 members in his home club. So we worked with him to change and apply all of these things to his club. He's now in 36 1 year later. He quadrupled the size of his club in 1 calendar Rotary year, okay?
So I'll add to that real quick. Impact by Rotary Club of the Foothills started as a companion club to the Rotary Club of Lenore, and we grew so much, the Impact Club grew so much, we finally made the decision to be a standalone club. You can do either way. It's going to depend on your club and your community.
Why bother with the satellite?
So let me take this one. So,
No, hold on one second, guys. We've got to get to some other people. I will, if you'd like to wait afterwards, I'll be more than happy to talk to you.
Jane.
Go ahead, right here.
I'm Jane. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm Jane Howard. I'm from the Central Coast in California.
Wonderful.
And obviously, what we say in our club is you need a spark plug like you.
Okay.
To get this going, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to, that is motivated and excited from being here, obviously. So that's one. And also, I think it was already answered, but the Impact Club doesn't have their own board. They just have a chairman, a chairperson.
You can operate within the rules of any kind of satellite club in the world. I'm going to tell you this before you all get out of here right now. If it's not written down specifically and it follows the 4-way test, you can do it. End of story. Do not be like me and waste a year of strategy finding out if you can do it. If it's not written specifically that you can't and it follows the 4-way test, do it. Yes.
Girish Gupchap, Southern Illinois. My question is, I hear 2 great metrics. First of all, great presentation.
Thank you.
2 metrics. One is increased membership. The second is when you look at impact equals to impact in the community. Can you give us a quick example of what your companion clubs have done? Because I haven't heard what they did to meet them where they're at.
I'm going to tell you this. How many people got the email that said you've been served? They got it. There's a new program that we did. You got it. Most members went, whoo, thank goodness we have something planned during that time. I'll just change it and call it You've Been Served Project. Or they had to come up with something. I told everybody we were going to complete 31 service projects in 31 days. And you know what we did? We completed 31 service projects in 31 days. I put a calendar and I said, pick a day. And I said to all the members, I said, you have seen something, which is my motto. I say, see something, do something. You've seen something on the way to work, on the way to T-ball, on the way to anywhere that needs to be done. Pick a day, do it. A lot of our service projects, guys, are generated by our club. Hey, I need this. My wife gave me, I need mulch done at the school. They need help. She put out the request. People showed up and got it done.
Oh, also, we have a section on our, it's coming to you, I promise. We have a section on our website where local organizations can submit a service request. So I, as an executive director of nonprofit, I'll go in and say, hey, I'm going to be in Houston for a week, so I need volunteers to cover this resource center. These are the times I need, these are the days I need, and impact members can sign up.
Guys, listen, we got to get out of here because some people got to go to another session. But if you're not going to another session, nobody's after us in this room today. So if you want to stay and you want to ask questions, we'll stay. But I need you to download the app if you don't have the app, and I need you to rate this session. How many can give the session a 5, guys? You got to do it. They won't ask us back. You won't have voices like this unless you do it, okay? If you were in line for a question, please come up here. I want to give you a t-shirt and I'll answer your question.